Hello, welcome to AlayDNation. Join the nation, AlayDNation. So today is Sunday, and today on the church Huntdown, I went to New Beginnings Christian Fellowship Church. I had heard about this church previously because their youth pastor, Anthony Hogan, I think is his name. I am not completely sure. I know his last name is Hogan. Had come to our church before when we had conferences, so I knew I was interested in going to their church because I really like what he had to say. And when I went to their church, oh my god, it was amazing. It was like church on steroids. It was really fun. From the moment I got there in park to the moment I walked in the door, it's greeted by so many people. I already felt really welcomed. And then when I went inside, their singing was amazing. It was a church that was had majority black people. Not that that really matters, but if that matters to you, then there you go. But it was fun. Their worship was really amazing. They had a youth choir on stage singing, and so amazing. It was so amazing. And I literally stopped worshiping just to say a quick little thank you, God, that you blessed them with their voices, because they were amazing. And it was just awesome to see. So before I get into the video, I got this new person bag. I'm going to show you what's in it real quick, just so you guys be knowing. It has this little pamphlet in there. I'm not going to read it to you because we don't have time for that. But it comes with this little fun pamphlet. It talks about the values of faith, a family that cares, a family that embraces diversity, a family that values youth, a family that cares for its seniors, a family concerned with the community, a family who studies God's Word. All are welcome at NBCF, and I definitely felt like I was really welcome, so that's awesome. On the back, it has their weekly schedules. You can see that their Sunday classes are at 8 a.m. and 10:30. I did not know it was at 10:30 last week. I had to leave my church and volunteering a little earlier to get to their church, but I made it. And then they have Thursday family nights with Alayna, which is preschool to 5th grade, and then they have Fresh Ministry. I did not know that's what their ministry was called. I am hoping to go this Thursday, so there might be a 0.5 to this video. And that's middle and high school, then Christian Education Institute, new members class, and connections. On the back, it talks a little bit about their senior pastor, who is Reverend Dr. Leslie D. Braxton. And he was very funny the whole entire time. Very, very funny. Very lively, very engaging. So that's one of the things that comes with the pamphlet. The next is this card, which you're probably supposed to take to the Welcome Center. I did not, but that's fine. It says welcome visitor. You fill out your information on it, and it gives you a little bit more so they know more about you. It also comes with this CD. The CD is It's a CD where everyone's family. I have not listened to it. It has the church's information on it. I am just opening this packet right now with you guys, so I don't know everything that's in here. They also give you a pin and this card. I wrote notes on the back, but it's for offering. You can text this number to give offering. I've always thought that's really cool. It is personally a hassle and a half to go to the bank and take 10% of your paycheck out, especially since banks only give you 10s, 20s, 40s, and 100s. I might be wrong, but it's about those numbers. I took notes for you guys on the back. That will come later. And lastly in here is this cool little touch card. So it has the New Beginning Christian Fellowship, has a map of it. It is literally 4 minutes away from my church on a straight road, and it says join us for worship with their times again, and something that tells you what they do, which is spiritually edifying worship, life-transforming Christian education, relevant and timely ministry programs, justice and advocacy, and community development. Definitely relevant in timely ministry program, because that gets into one of our first topics, which was that he preached his message apparently last week too. This was a part 2 message based on like Wakanda, Black Panther movie, and he was relating a lot of things to Jesus. I thought that was really cool because, you know, I can relate, and it's fun to have someone preach on something like that. So I thought that was cool. Let's see. The worship was warming and the singers were amazing. I already did that. Okay, so after the worship was done, after majority of the worship was done, somebody came and then they told us to all gather and hold hands. I was really confused because this church was actually bigger than Riverview, which we went to last week, and smaller than my church but bigger than Riverview, kind of in the middle there. So I was like, I don't know how I'm supposed to do this, and only some people started moving at a time, so I wasn't sure how it worked, like if it was only the people who want to hold hands or something. But then all together everybody came and held hands, and the guy next to me when we were done, if you don't know, I'm a very warm body. If you ever touch me or sit next to me, you will feel my heat. I'm not sweaty, but I'm very warm. So the guy next to me was holding my hand, and he was like, thanks for the warm hand when we were done. And it was fun to joke, like, don't ignore it. My hands are really hot. Like, they're not sweaty, but they're very hot. I'm a very hot person. I'm kidding, but that was amazing. We all held hands for prayer, and then we sang again, and then we stood for the Bible readings. I was aware that they stand for the Bible readings because that's something that Mr. Hogan talked about when he came to our church. I think that is amazing. It's God's word. We should value it, and I think standing is part of that. I know that some people made fun of that initially, but I don't think it's anything to make fun of. I think that it's really cool, and it's a way to honor God in another way. Some people think, well, we honor God with our lives and our hearts, and that's true, but why not honor him in every way we can? He has given me and you and everybody so much, and like our salvation, everything. We don't deserve any of it. So I thought that it was really cool, even though standing for me is difficult because I am L-A-Z-Y. There we go. Now let's get into the notes. This time I want to start with the fact that I actually sat next to people. I did not avoid people. I did not feel the need to avoid people, which 99.9999% of the time I do. There's a lady to my left, and there's a lady to my right. Hopefully those were the right directions. So I was actually sitting next to people, and it did not feel awkward. I did not feel weird. The lady on my left was informing me about last week's service. The lady on my right was very welcoming. I held her hand during opening prayer. And then after that, the pastor got up to start preaching, and he was like, and you know, sometimes you just need people to stand by you. And then slowly he started singing the song, the choir joined in, and he changed it to Jesus, and it was it was really amazing and really fun. I personally do that all the time when there's secular songs. I love to just incorporate Jesus in them and embarrass everybody in my life. But that was a moment where I'm like, my people. The times were 8 and 10:30, so the service is 2 hours long. I don't know why when I realized that halfway through the service, I felt so drained and like I will not be here for 2 hours. But my church is literally an hour and a half. It's 30 minutes more, and it was not a problem being there for 2 hours. So that sounds a lot worse than it actually is, believe me. 2 hours is, you can take 2 hours out of your day to celebrate Christ, who has loved you eternally, whether you believe in him or not. So and what they basically do is you come in, worship, then he preaches for the same amount he would at my church, and then the last 30 minutes are just announcements and offerings. So, you know, it's not like you're sitting there being preached at for an hour and 30 minutes, which really shouldn't matter. But, you know, I understand, I get tired too. And I noticed that the youth choir, the choir that was singing, sat behind the pastor, and to the side there were other people. I know some were reverends, some were giving announcements, and then the band people kind of left afterwards, and I think they came back on. The pastor's voice was very smooth. He seemed like he had been doing this for a while. He had that whole pastoral voice down. Maybe you're like, Alayna, you're crazy, there's no such thing. There is, believe me. I've been a Christian my whole life. Some people just have that pastoral voice, and they're smooth, and you just want to listen to them. And he related his messages to Black Panther, Wakanda. Like I said, it was very interesting, very engaging. It was fun and welcoming. And he related the part where T'Challa is beat by Killmonger and he almost dies, and the family think he dies, but the family is able to, Lupita, I don't know her name on the screen, I can't remember, but Lupita is able to take the plant and tries to give it to the mother, but the mother doesn't have an army, so they try and give it to M'Baku, who I would literally marry, and M'Baku shows them T'Challa, and then they have to, T'Challa goes through this whole phrase, and then he's restored to his power, and he related that to the resurrection of Jesus, which you might be thinking, like, what? Like, no. But, like, it's important to see how things that we do and see and watch, so many people who watch this movie can relate to Christ, because a lot of things that you think would not be able to relate to Christ, like the song Stand By Me, can actually relate to Christ. So it was really important and cool that he made that message. I don't make those connections as much as I should, but I am able to make connections like that. Whenever somebody else makes those connections, I think that it's also really cool and shows that we kind of have the same beliefs. Like I said, each Christian, each person has their own relationship with Christ, God, Jesus, because, you know, not everyone's going to have the same relationship. My mom's sitting right out there, and we do not have the same relationship. We actually disagree on a lot of things. So he's just an overall very cool pastor. His preaching was aggressive. So I know, I just want to say that because some people might not like that type of thing where it's so like aggressive, and he does get up there, he does yell, he does stomp his feet, but like I can identify with it. If you go and watch You Matter or You Belong and So Do I, or if you go and watch You Comp Youngblood 20K17, you can see that I start to yell, and it's because when you feel God's presence, when you're trying to relay God's message, when you are trying to tell people that they are loved by you and by Christ and that Christ died for them, it's hard to stay calm when you're trying to relay something that like is going throughout your body. You can feel Christ and you can feel your connection, and you're so passionate. So yeah, it wasn't aggressive in a bad way. There's just a lot of him to go around. So if you're scared by that type of things, maybe go try it to see how it goes. And if you're like, absolutely no way, you're not ready, well, now you know? And if you're like, that type of stuff gets me excited because I know that he's feeling the presence of God, then there you go. It was aggressive and I loved it, and he said a lot of good points. And I felt a little convicted at the end because he was talking about how to properly love people, and he was talking about how, you know, if you love someone, you love them at their worst, and you don't expect them to be better than yourself. Like, you don't hold them to higher standards than you hold yourself to. You have grace, you have faith, and you're supposed to like love them properly. And I know that's a thing with Christians. We are supposed to love people. And yet again, like I said in the last video, I find myself constantly loving non-Christians, non-believers in those ways, but not Christians. I am like so harsh on fellow Christians and like people that I'm around that are Christians, and I just always want to be like, well, no, that's not true, or no, that, or you shouldn't be doing this, or you should be doing this because you're a Christian. And I think that that's insane because I am holding them to higher standards than I hold myself to, and it's just not proper love, and it's not godly love, and I am not put here to judge people at all, whether they be non-believers or believers. That is not my place. So I felt really convicted. And I'm not ashamed of that. It's a good thing to feel convicted because we need to know when we're doing something wrong. That conviction comes from Christ. And we need to know when we are in the wrong. And I was in the wrong. I am not loving people the way that Christ has called me to love people. I'm not loving my own people the way that Christ has called me to love people. And that is evident. So I need to work on that and pray about that and just go to Christ about that and fix it, because that's not right, you know? That's not right. I felt convicted at the end, and that is all I have for you. So this church Huntdown Part 2 has been extremely successful. I would almost start going there weekly, but I still kind of like, I've been at my church my whole life. I feel the way I do about it a lot of times, 99% of times, but it's still my church. So I don't know, but I will definitely be going there often. And if I need a change, I know that I can now drive 4 minutes down the road and listen to some very good preaching, some very good worship music, and be next to some very nice, warm, welcoming people. And that is amazing to know, because as Christians sometimes we do need a change. We do need to hear someone else preach for, because I'm still a person. And I will let you know how youth group goes on Thursday. It is a different night than my youth group, so I would be able to go to both, but we'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, welcome to AlayDNation. Join the nation, AlayDNation. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. Once again, the name of that church is New Beginnings Christian Fellowship. And yeah, thanks for watching. It was really fun. So was going to the church.